looked up at the sky and wondered what is out there in the galaxy? Dr. Emily is an award-winning astrophysics professor, and she is here to tell us all about her new book that highlights advancement in astrology. Emily, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So let's get right to it. Tell us about your new book.
So, my new book, The Last Stargazers, which is newly out in paperback, takes readers on a behind the scenes tour of what it's actually like to be a professional astronomer. This is a pretty rare and unusual world. There are 7.5 billion people on the planet, but only about 50,000 of us are astronomers. And I wrote this book to give everyone a view of what it's actually like to work full time studying the universe and to travel around the planet in order to make that happen.
This book sounds so exciting. What inspired you to write it?
I was inspired to write the book by my colleagues and by hearing the stories that they would tell each other at a research conference or when we just sort of met up outside of work. People would tell these adventure tales of traveling to building-sized telescopes in the middle of nowhere, of flying on telescopes that actually ride on the backs of planes and get launched into the stratosphere. And I remember thinking, these stories are amazing. They're stories that I want to tell everyone because they give people a glimpse into what it's like to be a professional scientist.
This job sounds truly so amazing. What is it like to be a professional astronomer?
It's really exciting. And that's not something I knew when I was a little kid. Growing up, I knew I wanted to be a scientist because I liked science, but I had no idea what the job would be like. I wasn't sure if I would be sitting in a lab all day or just sitting at a computer. And we spend plenty of time doing that. But I've gotten to travel to some of the world's best telescopes and really make some exciting discoveries and see just some beautiful examples of the pristine night sky. It's a wonderful job to have.
I love that. I remember being a little kid and looking through a telescope and looking at the night stars. What current astronomy stories and events does your book highlight?
So my book really explores how astronomy has evolved and how it's changed and how it's still changing. We used to use for example, like sheets of glass that we would treat to respond to light in order to take our astronomical photographs. Now we have some of the world's best digital cameras. As the technology changes, the way telescopes work changes. And I've really been following the job that we have as people and the role that human curiosity plays in astronomy. So I look at the newest and best telescopes that we have being built and incredibly exciting things we're hoping to discover with them.
Love that. So Emily, this next question might be a little hard for you, but I have to know, what is it about space that fascinates you the most?
Oh, it's so hard to pick a favorite. So my research studies stars, and I'm actually interested in the stars that make a supernova when they die and leave behind something like a black hole. So I love black holes. I love this sort of weird, mind-bending thing that exists at the edge of physics. And I love that we now have the telescope and the tools to try and understand them and explain how they work. That's just amazing to me.
Love it. Emily, your book sounds so fascinating. I can't wait to read it. Before we wrap up, where can we find your book?
You can find The Last Stargazers anywhere books are sold. You can learn more about it at thelaststargazers.com. I strongly encourage everybody to check out local bookstores, including I know I'll be speaking at King's English Books in Salt Lake City in about a week. So anywhere you can pick it up would be great.
Love it. Thanks, Emily. We loved having you.
Thank you so much.